I've been given a challenge. These things here, I didn't fully understand. They go on a carburetor and they do some kind of mixing adjustment. You can see some fancy groove in here and it's going to be able to rotate about and whatnot. The point at hand is that this shape in here is worn out. You take a look at that here. That's about, what, 1/8 of a turn of play. And that's not good, especially on a carburetor where air must not leak through at any point because it's going to interfere with the mixture. So the task at hand is to find a way how to get this shape back into shape. And I think we can do that by making a brooch out of a bolt. Cross section here is 5 millimeters and the round section is 8 millimeters. So we can pre-drill the brass plug 5 millimeters and then we'll have to open the entire thing up. Now it's not terribly difficult from a geometrical point of stand because we can start with a round piece of diameter 5 and then let it taper off to a round piece of diameter 8, put some flats on here and cut some grooves to allow cutting teeth, and that's essentially it. Off camera I went ahead and center drilled the bolt for me and put it in the lathe between centers in order to check for straightness. And I'm not quite sure of my angle of a brooch here. But I think what I'm going to do, because the travel of the cross slide is not nearly long enough for the entire bolt, is just to offset the tailstock by 1.5 millimeters, should give me a taper of 3 millimeters in diameter, and then spend 10 years getting it back into adjustment. First and foremost, however, I'm going to go ahead and put the flats on here because I cannot clamp this in the vise on the shaper once it is tapered. Right now I still can. And we're going to put the flats on here and then deal with everything later. Well, that was a failure. It still files just as easily as if it was never hardened. Apparently 8.8 screws aren't made out of a steel that can be hardened, or it has to be case hardened, I don't know. Learned something. Anyway, I'm still going to try this out, just to give me an idea whether I was maybe even on the right track, who knows. Got my safety glasses on, just in case this thing decides to, you know, explode or something funny. And I'll just press on through.
Whoopie hey hey!
First piece I've broached in my entire life. Look, there is even chips on there! Amazing. Just for the record, this is before deburring. And here it is deburred. I'm absolutely baffled that this even worked a little bit. I mean, you can clearly see that it's been cutting chips. And you can also clearly see, because I left the tempering colors on here, that I didn't quite relieve things enough, because it is still bearing on the reliefs. Or it might be already signs of the whole damn thing getting dull, which, to be honest, is just as probable. I wonder why it performed so good on the last bit here and not so good over here. Looking at the chips, I think it's looks like these guys have been doing more work than these have. But then again, there is some nice chips in here too, and there's hardly any rubbing on the sides, whereas here you can see that there's quite a bit of it going on. Well, that looks an awful lot like that guy here, and it doesn't fit. The fact that this even worked at all is astonishing, alright? I'm going to remake this off camera and we'll meet again. Change of plans yet again. I've marked regular intervals in which I'm going to chuck this. Precision is not really too critical. If we keep these segments aligned to each other, then, you know, everything should kind of level itself out. So I've dialed this thing into running true now, and I've marked 2 jaws here, which you can obviously see. And now if I keep loosening and tightening just these 2, then the overall position in the chuck shouldn't change. So I can now loosen these up as much as I like, and then slide this along and tighten this back down again, and things should be running true. Or true enough for what we are doing. Alright, I busted another one just to make sure. It seems to me like these two teeth are taking way too much material off. You can see these ones hardly anything, these ones nothing at all. And you can see I've scratched me this one here just to mark where it got the hardest. And since I don't have any restraint upon the outside of this thing while punching this thing through here, it's just going to widen up and crack. Oh yeah, I have greatly screwed up on this one. See how when I go at these teeth with the micrometer, it's each a drop of about 0.05 per tooth. And, well, when we get over here, and we have the, 0.05 drop on this one, 0.05 on this one, 0.05 on this one, and then look, 0.5 millimeter and 0.05, and then we're getting down back again to 0.05 increments. You may also be able to see this here in the camera if I put this surface gauge on here, and towards the right of that double teeth they're all sitting flush nicely, and towards the left there's just this huge gap. There, it broke again. Shit! Okay, here is version 3.0. Did it exactly the same as before, only now with even spacing among the teeth. And now I'm letting it cool off, and we'll see how that one does. Okay, I had to make two because on the first one I didn't keep the needle straight and therefore it wandered off to the side. You can see this one wandered off a little bit too, and you will also notice that the force actually again pressed these things into ovals, they're not round. The best part about it all is the quality of the fit. You see they start going on, and then you need the ever lightest amount of taps to get it seated. It's completely play free, and that's, you know, my personal highlight of this thing. So I think I can use this shaft here as a method of chucking these and machine them round so that I can press them into here.
An octopus. Inadvertently, it's wandered into the fringe head's territory, and that can't be tolerated.
Ein Stuka-Verband im Angriff auf bolschewistische Panzer und Truppenansammlungen. Neuer Angriff! Volltreffer auf ein Straßenkreuz!
Now with, I don't know, 4-5 days of effort here, we can make two more, and then it's going off to the owner of these guys, and he can make hundreds, hopefully. So yeah, as you can see, once you made the tool, it's no big deal to make a bunch of these parts, and that's exactly why I chose this route. There would probably have been different solutions to this, you know, to create this shape, but you know, for a repeating job which has to be done over and over, I think this was the best approach. I mean, yes, it took a couple of attempts, but then again, you know, live and learn. It was my first broach, and it was well worth the experience. Thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. As always, see you guys next time. And yeah, leave a like, leave a comment if you wish. Bye bye!